and bargaining council restrictions when the DA has shown
and welcome Honorable Mokai. After the incident he had back home, he lost his brother. We and as the NCOP, may you be comforted and as well as your family. And we hope hope God gives you strength so that you can pull through this difficult time. Honorable members, may I once again take this opportunity to remind you about the rules of this House, in particular Rule 103 that shall apply in this sitting. And in accordance with the Council Rule 229 Sub Rule 1, there will be no notices of motion or motions without notice. Before I proceed to the question, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our Deputy President, as well as all the officials that are accompanying him. We do have the Council as well in our midst, Honorable Siweya. You are all welcome. The SALGA representatives, the MECs, and the provincial delegates that have joined in through the virtual platform. And I would also like to remind the Deputy President that for each question you have 5 minutes to respond to, and you're also been allocated 4 minutes for each supplementary question that is posed by honorable members. Having said that, I now call upon the Deputy President to respond to question number 13, which is asked by Honorable Muimang. You may take the podium, Honorable Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. I want to thank the Honorable Chief Whip, Honorable Maimang, for bringing up this issue of coordinated three-sphere planning to address the collapse of service delivery through the implementation of the district development model. Honorable Chairperson, allow me to provide a response that would demonstrate our approach to the implementation of the DDM by employing the whole of government approach to addressing difficulties related to service delivery. On the 6th of June this year, we launched the Clean Cities campaign, Cities and Towns campaign, and we did this in Kliptown in Soweto in collaboration with SALGA, Gauteng Provincial Government, the Department of Cooperative Governments and Traditional Affairs, Department of Environment, and of course the City of Johannesburg. The Clean Cities and Towns campaign connects with the DDM by implementing the DDM's concept of collaboration and integrated service delivery. It is a nationwide initiative aimed at fostering cleaner, greener, and more inclusive urban spaces whilst advancing sustainability, equality, and solidarity amongst all citizens. This campaign provides us with an opportunity to interact with communities at local level as part of our efforts to address service delivery challenges, utilizing a whole of government approach. Honorable Chairperson, since the launch of this campaign, we have visited Mangaung Metro in the Free State, Moretele local municipality in the Northwest. We have also conducted an oversight visit in the Western Cape's Overberg district to advance our land reform program and promote community development. On the 6th of September, I requested Minister Patricia de Lille, in her capacity as the DDM champion in the Western Cape, to lead the Clean Cities and Towns campaign at Zwelihle Township in Overstrand local municipality. Through the participation of relevant national ministers, deputy ministers, premiers, MECs, and all DDM champions in the Clean Cities and Towns campaign, we can pull together all relevant stakeholders to report on progress whilst we interact with communities to understand their service delivery challenges. We encourage municipalities and cities themselves all over the county to conduct their own cleaning campaigns, promote citizen participation, and partner with local business to address community concerns while promoting cleaner, safer, and healthier environment. In addition, on the 19th August, I visited the Eastern Cape where I had engagement with His Majesty King Ndlovunyezwe Ndamase of Amampondo Asenyande. This forms part of our government holistic approach to service delivery that is inclusive, culturally sensitive, and responsive to the diverse needs of our communities. Lastly, Honorable Chairperson, on the 18th of September, together with Minister of Public Works, I will have an opportunity to engage with their MINMEC. The focus on reforming the local government funding revenue, collected model, professional municipal management, and enforcing minimum competency requires for senior officials will be the matter that we focus on. By utilizing this approach, we will continue to bring together all spheres of government to strengthen collaborative and localized planning to address service delivery challenges. I thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you, Chairperson of the National Council of Province, and greetings to yourself and also esteemed members and our esteemed Deputy President. Let me start by appreciating the detailed response that the Deputy President has given. And indeed, the response captures that indeed a greater part of the solution to strengthening the state of our municipalities is much more informed by paying much more attention on those municipalities that are not doing, is informed by the sometimes weaknesses on the part of political parties in not sending the good caliber, greatly skilled and qualified. And I'm happy to indicate to the Deputy President that this House, this coming week, we will be having our local government week in the province of Western Cape as part and parcel of buttressing the effort that the Deputy President is leading. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Muiman. Over to you, Deputy President.
Much, Honorable Muiman. Indeed, the success of the district development model requires collaboration, coordination by all three spheres of government, particularly in the period where most of municipalities have coalition governments. It's important that we strengthen this coordinated approach. Honorable Muiman, you'll recall that in 2023, I conned various players from national, provincial, and local government to discuss how best we can work together to ensure a coordinated approach to service delivery. The national government will have programs in a particular province but not coordinated. And therefore, this intervention was to ensure that we deal with that weakness and make sure that there is stronger coordination. We have observed that since that time, our DDM approach has been improving the way we do service delivery in our provinces throughout the country. We do go together into provinces. Whenever I visit these areas, as I've mentioned earlier, I'm accompanied by ministers, premiers, in most cases also MECs and executive mayors. And that's the approach that we are going to continue to use to strengthen our DDM approach. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson.
No, thank you very much, Deputy President. We are now taking a follow-up question from Honorable Badenhorst.
Deputy President, 76% of municipalities are in financial distress, mostly due to poor management. Why is cadre deployment still the organizing principle?
Over to you, Honorable Deputy Minister.
It is true, Honorable Chairperson, that a number of our municipalities are in dire straits. Some of them are not able to provide basic services that they should. We have taken a decision as National Cabinet that the Minister for Local Government should focus on that problem. And the Minister and the Deputy Ministers of Local Government have been to many of these municipalities. There are a number of issues that make a municipality not to be very effective. One could be skills, as Honorable Badenhorst is saying that maybe we do deploy people without skills. I want to assure you that from my party we don't do that. I know that when people hear the word cadre development, they think with the skills that they have acquired. So meritocracy is not new to the ANC. In fact, it has always been our guiding principle. But you do find a situation where at the local level, because sometimes we have no choice on who comes in from a ward as a ward councillor, because we involve communities. And sometimes communities do elect people who, once they get there, are struggling in performing their duties. But when it comes to the executive, like your mayors and so on, from my party, they get interviewed, and I'm sure some of the honorable members sitting here who have been mayors can testify to that. They get interviewed properly, and once that process has been completed, he or she who has gone through that process will then her name will be taken forward to be considered to be the mayor. It also goes for the officials in the municipality, your city managers and so on. There's a very rigorous process. So I have no doubt, Honorable Badenhorst, that our intervention is going to improve things at local government level. It is a priority for us because local government is closer to the people, and therefore we want to ensure that those municipalities work effectively. And we have said to the Minister of Local Government, where you find that municipalities are appointing people who without requisite skills, you must intervene, and those people must be removed. So we are not going to experiment with structures that must serve our communities by putting people who don't have the requisite skills. So rest assured that the intervention is there and it is working. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. We're now proceeding to the next follow-up question, which shall be asked by Honorable Siwisa, EFF.
No, thank you, Chairperson. Greetings, Deputy President. Deputy President, the main reason why there is a collapse in service delivery is due to lack of proper coordination between the three spheres, which has led to a duplication of work, inefficient use of resources, and left a loophole for the lack of accountability. This model was introduced in the sixth administration, and since its introduction, there have been more cases of corruption and collapse of municipalities. Were they taken into consideration? Why was there no proper coordination from the beginning between the three spheres, and what was the purpose of introducing the district development model? Thank you very much.
Over to you, Deputy President.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you, Honorable Suisa, for that follow-up. Yes, we have noticed ourselves that there have been some challenges in the initial stages where people were appointed in some of the municipalities without requisite skills or proper training, and that's why we started intervening. For instance, this idea of interviewing mayors is not something that we started right from the beginning. We introduced it in maybe the last 2 terms, when we realized that it's not enough just to have a democratic process and say communities will nominate councillors, we will nominate councillors through our branches. We felt there's a need for an intervention, which we have now done. So I agree with you that perhaps it's something that should have been done much earlier, but it has been done. And remember, these interviews for people who become executive mayors and district mayors is done at a higher level by the provincial structures. In fact, for the metropolitan municipalities, those interviews are done by the national officials of the ANC, led by the president. So it shows how serious we take this matter. The people who become mayors there, they come before the president for interview with the other officials of the ANC. So, Honorable Suisa, yes, we could have intervened much earlier, but it's never too late to mend. So we are now intervening. And as I said, we can begin to see progress. In some of the areas, we do, of course, intervene to the extent where we dissolve a municipality. We have done it in some areas where we realize that just changing people here doesn't work. But the problem, of course, is that in some of the communities, when we do that and we create an opportunity for new elections, the communities bring the same people. We've experienced that, where, you know, Boditsobota and other areas where we have had this problem where the minister will dissolve a council, give a particular period required by the law for new elections to be held, and then communities nominate the same people who were in that municipality. We will have to find a way on how we deal with that. But when it comes to actual dereliction of duty or people involved in irregularities, disciplinary measures are being imposed to ensure that people can actually be removed and not even be allowed to once again go and contest elections. So we are attending to this matter, and as I said, we are beginning to see progress. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President. The last follow-up question on this question is being asked by Honorable Nzimande.
No, thanks, Chair, and good afternoon, Deputy President. We hear that you are saying Cocta Minister has been asked to focus on the challenges of municipalities, but these challenges have been recurring, including the institutional capabilities, water infrastructure, and greatly the service delivery. the question which the citizenry will expect you to answer is are the preventative measures or different interventions not previously tested that the government will apply to address these challenges? And if they exist, why such were not built in or find expression in the plans that were submitted in the Sokas House? Because COCTA minister also indicated that through the budget vote that the amount given to them, it's insufficient for them to deal with all these challenges. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. It is true that some problems have been recurring. The Minister of COCTA is not working alone, as I alluded in my initial answer. There is coordination with other ministers, for instance, the Minister of Finance, or let me say Treasury itself, working with COCTA MECs in provinces to be able to have a comprehensive intervention. Because what we want to avoid is exactly that problem, that problems recur, they keep coming back. So we have asked the minister to ensure that the intervention should be very comprehensive. Where there's a challenge of skills, we must deal with that. In some municipalities, you also find that there's a problem of economic base. So some municipalities don't have a proper economic base. So as a result, they struggle with revenue. Because the theory of independent local government in South Africa was premised on the fact that they are able to collect rates and taxes. So when we do a division of revenue as a national government, we do it in that context, that money must be divided between national government, provincial, but local government gets a minuscule portion of that because it is believed that they can collect revenue. Now, we found that that is not real in most areas. Those municipalities are not able to collect, not only because of corruption or irregularities, but simply because there are no industries in that particular area who are paying rates and taxes. And when it comes to households, you find that there are a lot of poor people in some of these municipalities, some of them unemployed in informal settlements. They don't pay for water, for electricity, and so on. So municipalities are having it tough out there to be able to survive on their own. So we are re-looking at our model at the moment to see how do we intervene in such situations. The metros are a bit better. You will see, in fact, that the bigger metros are beginning to get much better because most of them have industries in their areas of jurisdiction. They collect revenue and they are able to address services. But we are with the intervention by the Minister of COCTA to ensure that these problems must not recur. Once we say we are intervening, we are prioritizing local government, we are sorting out the problems, let's make sure that that is the case. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President. We are now proceeding to question number 14. It's with regards to municipalities that are owing the water boards. The question has been asked by Honorable Skier Kochel from Free State, a DA member. Over to you, Honorable Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Let me thank Honorable Skier Kochel for raising this important matter. On the 8th of April this year, the Department of COGTA and the Department of Water and Sanitation briefed the water task team on the performance of water services authorities and presented the status of municipal debt to the water boards. Honorable members will remember that the President established this water task team, which I currently chairs. So they gave a very extensive report. As of June 2025, the collective debt owed to water boards across the country stands at 25.1 billion. So Honorable Skierkochel is not far from it at 25.6. And to address this challenge, Honorable Chairperson, the Ministry of Water and Sanitation has made a call to all affected municipalities to make regular payments on current accounts for undisputed debts. There are instances where municipalities will dispute the debts, but we said where there are no disputes, they must pay immediately. But also they must ring-fence those disputed amounts so they can then be looked at. And then lastly, enter into structural payment agreements for historic debt, because we know they can't pay everything immediately. In addition, National Treasury has agreed to withhold equitable share transfers to worst performing municipalities in terms of non-payment to water boards. And this has been done at the request of the Department of Water and Sanitation. So if a municipality does not pay water boards, National Treasury will then top slice funds that would otherwise have to be transferred to that municipality to be able to pay the water boards. The equitable share, as I said, is withheld, and it will then, this was sustainability of my sanitation has announced that Mangaung, Johannesburg, and Tshwane metropolitan municipalities have already managed to pay off debts to the water boards. This improvement is commendable and must be replicated by other municipalities. But as I said earlier, these are metros, but would like to see this replicated throughout by other municipalities to make payments for water services. Chairperson, as we continue to implement measures against non-compliant municipalities, we will turn the tide of rising debt and move closer to improving the delivery of water and sanitation services to all South African citizens. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President. May I request Honorable Skierkochel to ask a supplementary question.
Thank you, Chairperson. Deputy President, this is not just financial mismanagement, it's a criminal neglect. And our Constitution is created in such a way that the three spheres of government hold each other accountable. Now, do you not agree that the problem is deep-rooted within the relevant provinces that allow local governments to collapse because they do not provide the support as the Constitution provides, Section 154, the MFMA, and relevant other legislative mandate, and the failed step-aside rule for political leadership, like in my own municipality in the Free State? So, therefore, what consequent management action steps would you implement to provinces that keep on failing to ensure that local government provide basic services? Thank you.
Over to you, Deputy President.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Skierkochel, as I said earlier, the Minister of Local Government has been tasked by Cabinet to intervene in all areas where we have challenges. We are aware of the challenges in the Free State. I myself has been to the Free State. We have asked the minister to intervene. So we have isolated a number of municipalities that, in our view, are collapsing for intervention. You are quite right that the Constitution itself does require national government to provide support, particularly through MECs and that's the reason why the Minister of COCTA is there, is to ensure that we actually do intervene. Because give a comprehensive report on the measures that they are implementing. They have been to many areas in the country already. So it's something that is already happening. So we don't want to come back here and you say we have neglected to intervene. We are intervening. And I'm sure next time to ensure that all our municipalities are actually running efficiently, providing services efficiently, and making sure that we serve our communities well. So we are intervening. Thank you, Chairperson.
Nis from the ANC.
Thank you, Chairperson. Through you, Chairperson. Deputy President, the mounting municipal debt that is owed to water boards, coupled with poor financial management systems, severely impacts the financial stability. Has the national government looked at engaging with municipal officials, premiers and MECs to COCTA and finance to secure firm commitments to address the municipal debt to water boards, and also devise new financial payment systems to improve the revenue collection capacity? I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Over to you, Deputy President.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. Honourable Finis, yes, that has been done. The Minister of Water and Sanitation has already met with most of these municipalities, those engaged. So those discussions are taking off. Of course, we've also found out, Honourable Finis, that one of the challenges in the municipalities when it comes to water is also a problem of leakages, what we call non-revenue water. In fact, if you talk to the Minister of Water and Sanitation, she'll tell you that we don't have a challenge with bulk water supply. The biggest challenge is reticulation. And it's because of those problems. Yes, some of them in the previous years could have been because of the problem of poor financial management, but there's also a reality that municipalities lose water to the extent they make do. That's where we came up with this idea with Treasury that we will top slice their budget so that we don't bankrupt the water services boards. So those interventions are happening and are going to be closely monitored. There will be a regular report to Cabinet by the Ministers of COCTA and Water and Sanitation to ensure that Cabinet can see what improvements are we making with regard to water, because water is very critical for development, and we want to make sure it's not wasted through leakages because of not fixing infrastructure. But financial management, yes, we are also improving on that. We've asked the Minister of COCTA to ensure that municipalities should appoint people who have the skills to manage these facilities and make sure that payments are made regularly for water services. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. I'm now inviting Honourable Keza to ask a follow-up question to the Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Deputy President, we are quite appalled by the debt owed by municipalities to South African Water Board, as the debt poses a risk to critical services to communities. As the EFF, we are of the firm belief that the non-payment of debt by municipalities is yet another coordinated attempt to collapse state capacity to provide water, in order to allow the private sector to intervene under the guise of preventing a crisis. Essentially, it seems as though the private sector and Treasury are orchestrating the water crisis in South Africa at the expense of the ordinary citizens. What immediate measures or accountability frameworks have you put in place to recover the debt owed to water boards across South Africa, which does not include the use of punitive measures such as cutting budget allocations to municipalities? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Keza. Over to you, Honorable Deputy Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. The Honorable Keza, some of the interventions I meant earlier, I meant exactly to do that. We don't want to be punitive, but where we realize that municipalities are not paying water boards and yet they are collecting revenue, that's where that measure is being used to topslice their budget. But we are looking at mechanisms to look at the problem holistically, because as I said, it don't make sense for us to go to a municipality, they say in Mangaung, and topslice their budget when in fact there's a bigger problem of infrastructure, old pipes and all that. So our intervention is going to be very comprehensive to ensure that we don't be seen as punitive, but deal with the real problems that municipalities are facing. These are very serious problems that have occurred over years. And as I said, we're also looking at our model of local government. In the past, there's been an argument that we need to have many municipalities so that they are closer to communities. But sometimes if you look at it, you'll find that you don't actually need to go that route. You can club some municipalities together, particularly the smaller ones, so that you give them capacity to be able to work together to have the capacity to intervene with resources. So yes, we will look into that to ensure that people are not punished unduly by ensuring that we are holistic in our intervention when dealing with this challenge. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President. The last follow-up question on this question is being asked by Honorable Peter. Over to you, ma'am.
Evening, Honorable Deputy President. The Amatola Water Board, which supply bulk water to most municipalities in the Eastern Cape, is on the brink of collapse. It failures and mirrors the national crisis of 25.6 billion owned by municipalities to water boards. When I raised this question on water collapse in Komakoma and Makhanda on the 29 May 2025, when you were last at this House, Honorable Deputy President, you took to push for urgent intervention through the relevant minister and your team in the presidency. May I therefore ask what concrete steps have been taken since to stabilize this issue and the Amatola Water Board in particular? Thank you.
Over to you, Honorable Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, about various challenges, not just water, including roads. Those who come from the Eastern Cape will know that it remains a big challenge. We will be going back there with the Minister of Water Affairs to see how we can assist because when it comes to rural areas, the challenge is even bigger than the cities to be able to lay out proper infrastructure and so on. And the Premier has made a plea in his discussion with me that they do need assistance from national government. They are doing their best to intervene. So I have raised this matter with the relevant ministers, and we will be going back. We're going to try and assist them. Remember, and that's what the challenge is. But we have now decided that let's see how we assist from national government through the intervention of the minister. We have pushed now for bulk water to reach all areas, but reticulation will be able to give you a detailed report. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. We are now proceeding, honorable delegates, to question number 15 that has been asked by Honorable Mulukume to the Deputy President with regards to the recently released Stats SA report that spoke about the increased unemployment rate. Over to you, Deputy President.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Mulukume, the rate of unemployment in our country is indeed a concern to all of us. As such, government is currently implementing several collaborative initiatives, particularly to address youth unemployment by improving labor market function through skills. Furthermore, government is utilizing labor-intensive programs like the Expanded Public Works Program, EPWP, also public employment programs, PEPs, and community work programs, CWP. This is to ensure that we provide temporary employment and income support, especially to unemployed young people in sectors like infrastructure, environment, and social services. To this end, Cabinet approved Phase 5 of the Expanded Public Works Program, and this was done in February last year, which aims to create 5 million work opportunities between April 2024 to March 2029, with an estimated budget projected to be 178 billion rand in that period of 5 years. This program, Chairperson, aims to address youth unemployment by offering young people access to work opportunities through the massification of projects like the maintenance of roads, including pothole patching, public infrastructure development, cleaning and beautification of public spaces, waste management, and social services. Honorable Chairperson, through the Human Resource Development Council, the HRDC, which I lead, government is collaborating with social partners. This includes business. Through the National Skills Development Plan and the National Skills Fund, government is collaborating with these social partners, as I've mentioned, but also we bring in educational institutions to equip youth and particularly marginalized groups with market-relevant skills and facilitate job initiatives. Because often you find young people come out of colleges and universities, but still they can't get jobs because the market demands the skills that they were not trained for. So this year in our Jet Skills Advisory Forum and the Multi-Donor Initiative at Gallagher Convention in Johannesburg, these joint initiatives are aimed to providing leadership and coordination for a demand-driven skills development agenda, empowering disadvantaged and marginalized groups to participate, particularly in the green economy, through employment and entrepreneurship. Moreover, the Department of Women, Youth, People with Disabilities, in collaboration with the Ministry of Defense, have launched the National Youth Service Program, which we did last year. This program is also empowering young people, women, and people with disabilities. Chairperson, in conclusion, as government, we are committed to transition from fragmented responses to an integrated national program that integrates skills development, economic opportunity, take into account workplace experience, entrepreneur support, soft skills, and civic education to foster the resilience and adaptability. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. I'm now
undertaken a comprehensive audit of the performance of all youth entrepreneurship programs in the country and whether the government would establish a mechanism to coordinate the various public and private sector youth empowerment and also the entrepreneurship programs. Thank you, Chair.
thank you very much, Honorable Mkume. Over to you, Honorable Deputy President.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you, Honorable Mulukume. Yes, indeed, we are integrating our programs, the programs that you talk about, the youth employment initiatives, the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative and other programs are being integrated, and we do bring the private sector on board as well. We drive some of them, of course, from the presidency. And you can see that our biggest focus is on young people. If we look at the increment or the increase in unemployment statistics into the business opportunities, not only through government departments at all levels, but also in the private sector. So yes, we are integrating, pulling this together, and we work very well with young people. Some of these programs are run by young people themselves. If you go and see the Presidential Youth Employment Opportunities to various initiatives, what we're trying to do is to instill in our young people that they must not have a mentality of the past. You know, you all remember, honorable members in the past would wake up, it is your market, we're all going to look for jobs. We want young people to be the creators of employment. That's what we want them to do. So by equipping them with skills, and particularly entrepreneurial skills, they are able to employ other young people as well. And I think we must do more of that, where our young people must not be like us. You know, when people wake up every day and go and wait, looking for jobs, they must be assisted to be creative and come up with initiatives that will help us in addressing this big challenge of youth unemployment. So my answer is yes, we are integrating this initiative. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. I'm now inviting Honorable Swart to make a follow-up question.
Honourable Chairperson, and good afternoon, Deputy President. With the high rate of unemployment at 33.2%, the country is past due for a review of the failed policies of your party over the past 30 years. Why does government persist with job-killing policies like BBBE and bargaining council restrictions when the DA has shown
On which rule are you rising?
Rule 69.5.
Honorable Badenhorst, please don't waste our time. Can you be seated?
Madam Chair, please respect the rules of the House. I'm
Can
rising
you
under Rule
please be
69.5.
seated? Can you please be seated, Honorable Badenhorst? You, Honorable Badenhorst, can you please take your seat? Honorable Nonkonyan.
Now that is seated, Chair. I wanted to rise on a point of order, Rule 9.12.
We're allowing point of orders
And
and point of orders.
which actually says the presiding officer.
Can you please listen? Honorable Badenhorst, I'm responding to you in terms of Rule 69, Sub-Rule 9. That says there's no delegate who may raise a point of order against or a similar point of order. If the presiding officer has ruled. So it is for that reason that I'm asking you to sit down. If you are not happy with the ruling, there is another avenue that you can explore to raise your dissatisfaction. So can you please allow us to proceed with the proceedings of the House? Honorable Gerike, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. Deputy President, the declaration of interest for members of Parliament and the Executive is a legal requirement and ethically correct to, firstly, hold public office bearers accountable, and secondly, to win the trust of the general public. Your declaration of interest was somewhat confusing and sparked a lot of debate and speculation even in the media. You have attempted to clear the air, Deputy President. The question is, does it bring the issue to an end? Or is there still something that you need to share with the country in this regard? Thank you very much.
Honorable Deputy President, you may respond.
Thank you very much. Honorable Gerike, the matter has been brought to conclusion. I don't around me. I don't have smaller nyana skeletons that I have to share with anybody. My life is as transparent as it is. And that's what I wrote in my declaration. This is where I live. This is how the house is owned. And I didn't say it for the first time. I said it last year. I still live where I was living last year. So my declaration could not have changed. Somebody tried to change it in the media. You know, when members of parliament are guided by the media, like News 24, you're going to falter. Because you read these funny things and it becomes your program. And you come and ask me questions based, listen to me. You read News 24 and come and ask me questions.
Can you hang on, Honorable Deputy President? Honorable Gerike, you asked the question. Deputy President has afforded you an opportunity to ask him and he listened to you. Now he's responding to your question. You are responding back. That is against the rules of the House. Can you afford him an opportunity to respond to your question? If you are not happy with the response, there will be another opportunity given to you to ask the question.
Chairperson,
And you can't
point of
speak
order.
back to the presiding officer.
Chairperson.
Over to you, Honorable Mananiso. On which rule are you rising on?
Thank you, Chairperson. On Rule 47, that says that delegates may not confess aloud. So I want you to actually rule on that. We are tired of what Honorable Gerike is doing. Thank you.
The order is sustained, Honorable Mananiso. Over to you, Honorable Deputy. Asking you to sit down. If you are not happy with the ruling, there is another avenue that you can explore to raise your dissatisfaction. So can you please allow us to proceed with the proceedings of the House? Honorable Gerike, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. Deputy President, the declaration of interest for members of Parliament and the Executive is a legal requirement and ethically correct to, firstly, hold public office bearers accountable, and secondly, to win the trust of the general public. Your declaration of interest was somewhat confusing and sparked a lot of debate and speculation even in the media. You have attempted to clear the air, Deputy President. The question is, does it bring the issue to an end, or is there still something that you need to share with the country in this regard? Thank you very much.
Honorable Deputy President, you may respond.
Thank you very much. Honorable Gerike, the matter has been brought to conclusion. I don't around me. I don't have smaller nyana skeletons that I have to share with anybody. My life is as transparent as it is. And that's what I wrote in my declaration. This is where I live. This is how the house is owned. And I didn't say it for the first time. I said it last year. I still live where I was living last year. So my declaration could not have changed. Somebody tried to change it in the media. You know, when members of parliament are guided by the media, like News 24, you're going to falter. Because you read these funny things and it becomes your program. And you come and ask me questions based, listen to me. You read News 24 and come and ask me questions.
Can you hang on, Honorable Deputy President? Honorable Gerike, you asked the question. Deputy President has afforded you an opportunity to ask him and he listened to you. Now he's responding to your question. You are responding back. That is against the rules of the House. Can you afford him an opportunity to respond to your question? If you are not happy with the response, there will be another opportunity given to you to ask the question. And you can't speak back to the presiding officer.
Chairperson.
Over to you, Honorable Mananiso. On which rule are you rising on?
Thank you, Chairperson. On Rule 47. That says that delegates may not confess aloud. So I want you to actually rule on that. We are tired of what Honorable Gerike is doing. Thank you.
The order is sustained, Honorable Mananiso. Over to you, Honorable Deputy President.
Yes, Honorable Chairperson, let me conclude. The point I was making is that it is a journalist who wrote a story that he's now following up, that I wrote in my declaration that I own a house that I don't own. I mean, how foolish can I be? Ownership of property is something that is on record. You can go to the registers of properties, you'll find which properties I own. So what on earth will make me go to my declaration and say, I live in this house, last year I said I don't own it, now I own it. If I own it, there will be a record that shows I'm the owner of that property. And honorable member knows the truth. But they listen to journalists who work with them to come and ask us questions here that are funny. Yes. Yeah, but Honorable Chairperson, let me leave it there. There is nothing I wish to further disclose.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy President. Honorable members, again, may I request that we observe Rule 47.
May I request that we do that, Honorable Badenhorst? We are now proceeding to the last question for the day that has been posed by Honorable Noe to the Deputy President with regards to the recommendation of the South African Human Rights Commission. Over to you, Honorable Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson, I would like to thank the member for this important question. We welcome the report of the South African Human Rights Commission released in November 2024 on service delivery failures in 18 of the Free State municipalities. This report outlines findings per each municipality and suggests recommendations of what needs to be done. Amongst other things, the report identified critical areas such as inadequate infrastructure maintenance, poor road infrastructure, weak refuse removal services, revenue collection challenges, and high levels of managerial and technical vacancies. The following constitute a summary of the key findings of that report. It says the Provincial Department of COCTA is not adequately fulfilling its obligations in terms of Section 154 of the Constitution and Section 105 of the Municipal Systems Act 32 of 2000 for the following reasons. 10 out of 23 municipalities in the province are classified by COCTA as dysfunctional. This figure has not shown much improvement in the past 3 years. Secondly, no municipality in the Free State has achieved a clean audit in 6 consecutive financial years. Several municipalities do not have functional municipal public accounts committees. And lastly, there is a high vacancy rate of senior managers in the Free State municipalities, including but not limited to municipal managers. In this regard, the Provincial Department of COCTA, working together with the Department of Water and Sanitation and the Department of COCTA nationally, have processed the report and instituted systems to implement the recommendation of the SAHRC report, which amongst others seeks to strengthen the implementation of Section 154 of the Constitution and Section 15 of the Municipal Systems Act 32 of 2000 to adequately monitor and support municipalities in the Free State. To address widespread service delivery failures, several Free State municipalities have incorporated targets project into their MIC implementation plans. The implementation of these projects are coordinated by COCTA with the support from Municipal Infrastructure Support Agency, MISA. To this end, Chairperson, municipalities such as Mafube, Kopanong, and Ngwate are prioritizing the refurbishment of wastewater treatment works, pump station, and boreholes. These efforts are aimed at restoring basic water and sanitation services, which have been compromised due to aging infrastructure and poor maintenance, something that we talked about earlier. In Malutia Phofung, operations and maintenance support are being provided through a cost reimbursement model, and MISA has deployed engineers and graduates to assist. Road maintenance has been tackled through the acquisition of yellow fleet equipment and graders and rollers, particularly in Mafube. Kopano, local municipalities focusing on pothole management, resealing, and stormwater challenge maintenance, support by partnerships of the community work program. To improve waste management, Mafube has allocated MIC funding for the procurement of specialized vehicles for refuse removals. This project reflects a strategic shift towards core municipal functions and improving the quality of lives of residents in these distress areas. Through the implementation of Phase 2 of Operation Vula, we will focus on reforming local government funding and revenue collection model. Honorable Chairperson, these interventions speak volumes on progress that is currently being made to improve service delivery, particularly in the Free State municipalities. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, DP. I'm now affording Honorable Nwe an opportunity to ask a supplementary question.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Deputy President, for the response. I shouldn't be making a follow-up based on your response, but there's one area that one will need to highlight to still emphasize the challenges that the municipalities are facing in the Free State. Indeed, the sewage treatment plants in many of the Free State municipalities, mainly including Mangaung and Maluti-Apofung, where it is mainly a serious, dire situation in Maluti-Apofung. I will indicate why. They are in a state of severe collapse, with all their facilities failing to function and releasing untreated sewage daily into rivers, feeding the Val Dam, causing widespread environment damage and posing health risks to residents and livestock. Just on Maluti-Apofung briefly, Deputy President, as we speak, because of the challenge, I think the engineers, they haven't as yet got there what they're supposed to be doing in supporting that municipality. Houses and schools, sewage is flooding into the yards as we speak now. And some business people, because of the collapse of the treatment plants, they are now beginning to use opening illegally for themselves manholes to empty the toilets. And that's how the dire situation is like in Maluti-Apofung now. And therefore, Deputy President, what are the specific interventions that the government is implementing, specifically in the above-mentioned municipalities, that is the 13 plants also that includes Mangaung, to salvage the water infrastructure in municipalities in the Free State to and strengthen
Can you take your seat? Honorable Deputy President, your time is up.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Nwe, as I said earlier, that in Maluti-Apofung, the focus is on maintenance support, which is provided through a cost reimbursement model. MISA has already deployed engineers, and they're also bringing in graduates. They are also focusing on road maintenance, but they have now acquired yellow fleet for a place called Mafube, I think is what it's called. So they are looking at these issues, particularly waste management. We will obviously look into the issue you are raising of the sewage spilling into some residential areas. But there is interventions going on there. We must just look at whether they are attending to all the challenges as you have raised. But I think it's easy because the work has started. I will, as part of working on looking at service delivery challenges as by the President, to follow up exactly whether they are attending to all those issues. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. The next follow-up question is from Honorable Skier Gochel. Over to you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Deputy President, as confirmed by myself last week, every single river in the Free State is being polluted by collapsing ANC-governed municipalities. The Auditor General has confirmed the Free State is the worst-run province in South Africa, with not a single clean audit in almost a decade. Ghost budgets illegally approved and billions in infrastructure grants returned unspent. Would you not agree that, and even President Ramaphosa conceded in this House, the situation warrants Section 101A interventions, forcing the Free State Executive to account for why it has failed to ensure even the most basic services? And why should residents continue to suffer under what municipalities call themselves and admit special collapse if they refuse to apply constitutional remedy of direct intervention? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Skierkochel. Over to you, TP.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. Honourable Skierkochel, as I said, there is an intervention now focusing in the Free State. So we will attend to these challenges. The Minister of COGTA will bring a report to Cabinet in terms of progress we are making, but we are intervening, particularly in the Free State. As I said earlier in my statement, that many of those municipalities have been identified as dysfunctional, and therefore we need to intervene. We are doing exactly that. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, TP. The next question is from Honourable Machobeni. Hey, ke masipala wa Machabeng. It's very, my apology, Honourable Member.
Okay, thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Greetings to the Deputy President. Deputy President, you've answered my question, but you said there are interventions that are going on in that municipality. I would love to know what will be the time frame, because we cannot run away that service delivery in the Free State is in a state of collapse. And also, I just want to know what measures have you put in place to hold those municipal managers and politicians who ignored the recommendation to account. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Machobeni. Yes. Over to you, Honourable DP.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Honourable Machobeni, for the follow-up. The report by Minister of COGTA will cover those issues because it is coming to Cabinet. But we have agreed that where individuals are identified to be a problem, whether it's municipal manager or a manager of any entity, there will be interventions to ensure that such individuals are dealt with. So the approach of Cabinet is that let's rescue these municipalities for the sake of the people, make sure that even the people who are deployed or appointed in those particular institutions are people who can do the work properly. So I think you will get this report once the minister has completed. It might take a bit of time, as you say, what is the time frame? The minister, as I said, has been hard at work, and I'm sure we will get a report in the next cycle of Cabinet, in the next 2 months, to see what is happening. But we know that it is urgent that we deal with that challenge in the Free State. Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson.
Thank you very much, DP. The last question, a follow-up question on this question is from Honourable Briet.
Thank you, Chairperson. I hope I am clear. Honourable DP, I'm really quite disappointed in terms of of your answer to this report and the question, specifically taking into account that I know you have staff who are free staters in, as they say in Afrikaans, middenbeen, and I was hoping that the dire situation could have been explained to you better. The SAHRC's findings were not new or unexpected. They are, in fact, just confirmations of the atrocious living and working conditions that the Free Staters have to face on a daily basis. Chairperson and Honourable DP, I hear you are saying that the municipalities have interventions, but your predecessor, Honourable DP, had already declared municipalities like Mangaung, Maluti Apufong, Machabeng and Mukaka service delivery hotspots. And the sad reality is that these municipalities are worse off since they were declared hotspots. Some have even been put under administration. My question to you is, Honourable DP, seeing that these interventions from your office or your predecessor's office did not work, what are you going to ensure that they work, and will you implement consequence management to see that the people responsible for this neglect is taken to book? I thank you.
Over to you, DP.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson. We have already accepted that there are challenges in the Free State. As I said, Honourable Chairperson, that we have identified municipalities that are dysfunctional, what they are not doing, what they should be doing. So we are intervening. I've already indicated what we're doing in Malutia Pofung, where we're dealing with issues of maintenance, issues of making sure we have engineers in those areas to deal with all challenges. Road maintenance has been tackled. They have acquired yellow fleets. So all these things, Honourable Member, are being done as we speak. So it's not a wish list that we think of. We're already there doing these things. And you will get a report. I know that there are many who are saying, what are you doing with people who are not doing their work and people who are involved in irregularities? I already said that once that is identified, we will act. The minister has a clear mandate on that, working with COCTA in the province. We will improve the municipalities in the Free State. We are there, we are intervening, and we are going to make sure that for the sake of delivery of services to our people, we get those municipalities right and not allow a situation where they continue to be dysfunctional and nothing is done. Something is being done now as we speak. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Deputy President. We've come to the conclusion of the question. You may take your seat. Having said that, Deputy President, we want to take this opportunity and thank you for being part of this House, both in your capacity as the leader of business, government, and as well as the Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa. I must say your responses were quite enriching, enlightening, very transformative. If you know, you know. It's a question of if you know, you know. Thank you very much, honourable members. The House is adjourned. Before we leave, I'm requested to inform you that can you be seated? There is going to be just a quick briefing session immediately after this, right inside the chamber. Thank you very much.